Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I've been trying to reorganize some things, go through some things. I had a bookshelf break and collapse and spill books everywhere. So I'm trying to look at it as an opportunity to reassess, reorganize some stuff. And I've been using or looking into and trying out some different library apps which have the functionality of Goodreads without the social media aspect of it, without it being an online sort of thing, just a personal library app where you can scan your books and keep track of what you own, what you don't own, yada, yada, yada. Because frankly, I'm tired of buying duplicate copies of books because I don't realize that I own them. During this reassessment and reorganization, I've started questioning whether or not I'm really interested in some of the books that I have, especially since I've owned them for a while and have since heard mixed things about them instead of the great things about them that I was hearing originally. Likewise, when I first joined BookTube, I was buying books based on popularity, less on content perfect for me. So now there's some stuff that I have that I'm not really sure I will enjoy. Just stuff like that. And where I would normally ask your opinion on what books I should read, I'm going to appeal to you now to help me figure out what books I should keep. So this is, like the title suggests, your opportunity to make a case for the books that I'm seriously thinking about getting rid of. And I trust your opinion. You guys give pretty good recommendations, seem to have good insight when it comes to helping me pick my TBR and all those things that we do on this channel all the time. So I wanted to see if there's any of you out there that will say, no, don't get rid of this. You have to read it. It's really great. And I will trust you. Okay, so first things first is the book Night Film. This is by Marisha Pessl. I bought this back, let's see, do I have still, yes. I bought this in 2017, the year that I began BookTube. And I bought it primarily because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about how unique an experience it was, how it was, I don't know if they were saying how really good it was or just how different it was and how impressed they were by its originality, etc. And so I picked up a copy. Granted, I didn't spend a lot of money on it. I bought it used, but it's still taking up space on my shelf. It is a significantly long book in the neighborhood of 590 pages. And what I need to know is if this is worth keeping on my shelf, if this is worth getting to someday, reading at some point, or if you think, nah, you probably won't like it, or you'll probably just think it's okay, you should go ahead and get rid of it. So let me know. Next is the Dublin Murder Squad series that began with In the Woods by Tana French. This takes place in Dublin. It is about, I think it's pretty much police procedural crime thriller novels. Again, it's a popularity thing. So everybody, when I originally started BookTube, was talking about In the Woods. And it was just a popular book that I knew of, that I thought, oh, well, maybe I can read this and help me gauge, where my reading tastes rank among all these people who are talking about this super popular book. And so I have this thing where if I own one book by an author, I might as well own all the books by the author. Anyways, I ended up purchasing these 3 books and never prioritizing them. It's not that I'm not interested. It's just that I don't foresee myself prioritizing them anytime soon. So I guess what I'm asking you is, if you've read this, which I'm willing to bet that some of you have, if you've read this, if you think that it's a worthy series to take up space on my bookshelf, or if I might as well just part ways with it now and forget about it. Will I be a better person having read these books? Next are the 3 unread books I have on my shelf by Christina Lauren. So the only book that I have absolutely 100% adored by Christina Lauren is The Unhoneymooners. The rest have been either mediocre or downright not in my wheelhouse. So They are Beautiful Secret, which is a book in the Beautiful Bastard series, which I haven't read any of. But I got this, I think, from Book Outlet a long time ago. Yeah, in 2017. Just recognizing the series and being excited that I found one of the books for pretty cheap. 11 Other Words, which gets pretty mixed reviews here on booktube. I think it's one of their more serious romance novels. And then my favorite, Half Night Stand. Now, of the three of these, I am most attracted to my favorite, Half Night Stand. I think that it sounds most like The Unhoneymooners. These other two, I mean, unless somebody comes out of the woodwork and says, that is an amazing book, you have to read it, I'm fine parting ways with these two. My favorite, Half Night Stand, though, I'm semi-interested in. Who knows? It might be the other greatest Christina Lauren success story in my reading life. I have no idea. I did feature my favorite, Half Night Stand, in my TBR tournament, and there were some of you who were interested in it. So, I mean, if my half interest and your half interest combine to be a, yeah, I should keep the book, I totally will. And I mean, I guess that's another thing to mention, is that the other factor of this, the other part of this, is if any of these books are books that you would just really like my opinion on. So you watch my content, you, for some reason, like the way that I talk about books, or the things that I say about books. Maybe you have read these or you haven't read these, and you're trying to decide for yourself, and you would like me to read them to help you gauge. I mean, I guess that's another way to look at this. But anyhow, my favorite, Half Night Stand, Beautiful Secret, and 11 Other Words by Christina Lauren. Next, I don't even know why I bought this book. I mean, I think I know why I bought this book. I bought this book because I, first of all, picked it up at a library sale. So $1, maybe. Not a huge deal. But it's a chunker. And I don't know that I would ever read it. And I think that sometimes I still suffer from imposter syndrome, or sometimes, all the time. But sometimes I feel like if you are a mystery thriller horror reader and you're going to get on YouTube and declare yourself as such, that you should have read or at least own a lot of Stephen King books. I don't know. I'm not here saying that makes sense. I'm just saying that sometimes that's kind of what I think. So I was at a library sale and I found The Regulators by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. This is a story, I believe, about vampires, but I could be wrong. It doesn't explicitly say so. I have filmed a lot of videos recently and just keep saying explicitly. It doesn't explicitly say. I need a thesaurus for my birthday. But it's basically about these people that descend on this neighborhood and shoot up everything. And then after dark, it gets real sketchy. So I don't have a ton of Stephen King experience. The Stephen King experience I have shared with you on this channel. I do still have The Revival and Sleeping Beauties on my shelves. Same reason. I better know something about or own a lot of Stephen King to be valid. Stupid. So just let me know if this is good. We might as well get this fella out of the way at the same time. Speaking of Stephen King, I have 3 Joe Hill books taking up a lot of space on my shelves. And the only experience I have with Joe Hill is DNFing his book Nosferatu. Now, I bought all these Joe Hill books because they sounded interesting to me. And Joe Hill sounded like an author I would like. And then I read Nosferatu, which is arguably his most beloved novel from what I can tell. And I hated it. I DNF'd it. I really thought I was going to love it. And I really felt the opposite. And so that made me go back to these suckers. I have Horns, Heart-Shaped Box, and The Fireman. And now I'm really contemplating if I want to go here. So I've also had thoughts about, I have another one of his somewhere, Full Throttle, I think. but I don't know where that is right now. But I've thought about doing a second chance video with Joe Hill, the way that I did for Minka Kent a while back. And if that's something you guys are interested in, me giving Joe Hill a second chance, these books would come in really handy. If you're out there thinking, oh girl, you better jump ship now with Joe Hill because it doesn't get better, then please let me know, honestly, so I can... I mean, these are heavy. And we all know what heavy things do to bookshelves. They break them. This is weird. And I'm not entirely sure that any of you have heard of this book, but this is called Infinite Ground. This is by Martin McGuinness. This is the winner of the Somerset Maugham Award. I don't even know what that is. The best book of the year in The Guardian, The Irish Times, The Herald, Scotland on Sunday, and more. So, it's blurbed by Jeff Vandermeer. I think that I received this book in a Page Habit box, which I tried Page Habit for a month. I was not impressed with the books that I received, and I think this was one of them. I don't even know why I kept it, except that I am a book hoarder and therefore have a hard time letting go of things. But this is about a man who's dining in a Latin American city. I don't know why it won't just say what city it is, but anyways, he's dining in a Latin American city. He gets up to use the restroom and he never comes back. So his family hires a detective to try to find him, and that investigation starts to reveal something really strange and sinister. I mean, I think the biggest problem I have with this book is the cover, honestly. Like, if it's that good of a book, then you're screwing it up with this cover, let me tell you. It infuriates me. This looks like the most boring nonfiction book to ever be published. And why are you breaking up the word infinite? Why are you doing that? If I can stand to look at it, what I need to know from you is if it's worth my time reading. These I bought, again, popularity, and I guess they're technically YA. Right? Shit, I don't know. But these I bought again because of popularity. They are Warm Bodies combined with The New Hunger and its sequel, The Burning World. I was like, I think that I heard about this book on BookTube or something, and I was like, zombies? Yeah. I mean, I know that these were really well liked. I know that they were because they were really popular. What I need to know is if I would like them. Because again, a purchase based on popularity, yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know what I was thinking. I can promise you that 3.5 years of BookTube under my belt with a 1-year break sandwiched there in the middle, that I definitely am a little bit more conscientious about purchasing for the right reasons. I bought this because it seemed like a novelty. Pride and Prejudice and zombies, I know existed and I didn't read it, but Abraham Lincoln the Vampire Hunter, I was like, oh, how cool is that? Again, I bought this used. That's the thing, is that I go to a used bookstore and I buy books because they're cheap and popular and they sound funny or cool or a different take on something. Who wouldn't want to imagine that Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter? Is this any good? Is it good? Just be honest with me. Is it good? Because it's been sitting here for 3 years. And, I mean, is this hokey or is this quality? You know, is this just a joke all the way through? Or is there some serious, like, interesting content contained herein that reading will make me better? And while Christina Lauren is probably a pretty popular name for this list of do I even want to keep these books, these are going to be the most popular books on this list. They're The Last Time I Lied and Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. So of the 4 Riley Sager books that are out there, I've read 2 of them, Final Girls and Home Before Dark. Final Girls was a lackluster experience for me. I think I gave it 3 stars. And Home Before Dark, I gave 3 stars, but on a personal level, it really pissed me off. So Lock Every Door was a sensation in 2019. I mean, whoa, everybody loved it. And it's, from what I understand, similar in theme to Home Before Dark. Then The Last Time I Lied, which seems to be a little bit not like the others, maybe a little bit more like Final Girls than it is about his most recent two. People love these books. People love Riley Sager. And I don't have anything against the author, but when it comes down to it, there's a couple of things that are done that I don't really jive with. There's just something about the books that I feel like they think they're more clever than they are. That was harsh. That was mean. So anyways, I have these two Riley Sager books. They're the two books that are sandwiched between the two that I've read. And I'm just wondering, of the two, should I keep either? Am I missing out if I unhaul these? I get so sad when I talk about getting rid of books. I'm serious when I say that I hoard books. I absolutely do. I hoard books in a way that's really strange. I would think that people out there that have huge libraries of books are primarily interested in holding on to the books that they've read because they want to remember that experience, whether it was positive or negative, or they want to somehow keep track or measure their progress by keeping the books that they've read. I'm exactly the opposite. I only keep books I've read if they're really great and they mean a lot to me. Otherwise, books that I've read, they get gone. I have hundreds of books in this house and they're all unread. 98% of the books that I have in this house are unread. I hoard books I haven't read, which seems silly to people, I know. But I hoard books that I haven't read because of the hope that they contain. Because there's something about that book that has so much promise to me in my mind. I like these two Riley Sager books, okay? So the promise in my mind is that, I mean, so many people like these books. These books are loved by people. And I never want to get rid of something that I could potentially love. It's the unknown. And there are people out there that will swear up and down that I am a huge pessimist, but I'm totally not. I'm actually quite an optimist because of the hundreds of books in this house, I'm sure that I'm going to love every single one of them. And that's not true. We know that's not true. There's so many books in this house unread that I will probably despise. And so, I feel like I am an optimistic and hopeful person, or I at least believe in the promise of a book. And so it's really difficult to get rid of one, sort of making a statement that this book has no promise, that there's no hope for this book and me. And that's extreme. I mean, I can burn bridges with people all day long, but for some reason, burning bridges with a book is rough. So let me know down in the comment section below of all of these books that are taking up space in my life on my shelves. Do they stay or do they go? Can you make a solid case for any of these? Tell me what to do. Do I get rid of them or do I keep them for a rainy day? If you guys aren't really in love with any of them, they'll probably go. As always, thank you so much for your opinions and for watching, and I will see you all very soon.